Life throwing you a curve, you need to hear this interview with Sophia Espinoza. Sophia was doing the college thing when COVID hit and threw her future into question. Undaunted, she jumped headfirst into the world of real estate, closed 11 transactions for over $2 million of business, becoming an RAS Media Rookie of the Year finalist. Tune in to hear how Sophia did it and her tips for real estate agents who want to find success just like she has.
Welcome to Unlocking Real Estate, My First Commission, where we dive into real stories, big wins, and early lessons learned from highly successful rookie real estate agents and brokers. This is the series where we explore how real estate transforms lives, one home at a time, by sitting down each week with a new agent or broker who has found incredible success in their first year. Your hosts are instructors and leaders at Colibri Real Estate School, one of the largest real estate educators in the nation, where we focus on helping people like you get started or find continued success in their careers.
Hello, and welcome to Unlocking Real Estate, My First Commission. I am your host, Tina Lapp. I've been in real estate education and helping individuals enter and thrive in their careers for over 30 years.
Hey, and I'm Andrew Robinson, also with Colibri Real Estate. We are excited to have you here on this week's episode.
We are here today with Sophia Espinoza. Sophia, will you take a moment to introduce yourself, where you live, what company you're with?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everyone. I'm Sophia Espinoza with Century 21 Circle in Crown Point, Indiana, Northwest Indiana, about 45 minutes from downtown Chicago.
Wonderful. And Sophia, what were you doing before you became a real estate agent?
So right before I started my real estate journey, I was away at school at college at the University of Kentucky. I was my first year, doing all the sporty things, joined a sorority, and then COVID happened. Not to say the C word, but COVID did kind of hit us all upside the head. Moved back home, kind of talked to my parents, talked to family, and thought, what am I going to do now? Do I keep paying out of state public tuition for online school? I did one semester online. Everyone kind of was like, here's an A. So finished really good at school because everyone was just didn't know what else to do. And then I ran into my best friend's dad, who was a 30-year, real estate veteran. We ran into him at a vendor show, and he said, I'm actually, looking for an assistant. Have you ever considered real estate? And I said, not necessarily, but, let's try it. And, 3 years later, here we are. I'm a licensed realtor and team processor and have, a few transactions under my belt and a lot of different scenarios and deals that I've seen. So it all worked out, I think, for the better.
That's great. So some folks in real estate. Was that your inspiration? Was there something else about the real estate career that really inspired you to get started?
Yeah, absolutely. Dave was a huge inspiration to me. That's my team leader, and my friend Morgan's dad, who I, saw his lifestyle, and, he was always kind of available, but, busy, and saw his gorgeous backyard and his house. And I said, maybe I should, think twice. But then also my dad, he kind of talked to me and said, you have a political science interest, you like law, you were an intern for, circuit court building in high school. So you have an interest there for law, and you like marketing, you like design and social media. You did that in college too. That's kind of a mix of the two. And I said, oh my God, Dad, I think you're right. I don't want to give you that dub, but I think you're right. So after talking to Dave, I think it all kind of lined up, but they were both inspirations, and having my family and friends in my corner supporting me, I knew that it was a time to explore it and see what could happen.
And you went in to be an assistant and help in the office. Was there a moment in time that you decided you were going to go get your real estate license?
Yeah, absolutely. Dave kind of introduced me to the idea as, you can try it out, be a processor. If it's something that you're interested in and you see the kind of the process and the behind the scenes and you're, still interested, I would recommend getting licensed. And once you're a licensed agent, you can do this and that. Obviously, you still can help me, but you can do your own deals and make more money. So I decided to go ahead and get licensed. When COVID happened, I didn't look into in-person classes. I just kind of looked at online courses. And with the stimulus money that we got from COVID relief, I invested that into my MacBook, my online classes, my, test, because I took it a few times. I took it about 8 to 10 times to finally really get it, set in stone. All that money I kind of just put into this new chapter.
I love to hear that. I mean, I love both how you pivoted, right? You saw this career you were headed down and decided to try something different. And then also that you saw this opportunity with the stimulus check. And they came together at the same time. What challenges you faced when you took your course, and why do you think you struggled with the exam?
Yeah, I think I just was in my head too much. I always thought about like, oh, am I too young? Am I too naive to think I could do this? Am I, you know, barking up the wrong tree, essentially? Like, everyone is so much older and so much experienced. I had my grandma's neighbor out of nowhere. I told her what I was doing, and she said, well, if I'm going to sell my house, I'm going to go with a 10-year veteran versus a newbie. And I thought, I don't like that. I could prove her wrong. I could tell her that, just because I'm young and I'm new, like, I could know as much as the 10-year, if not more. So I kind of challenged myself, and I just kept pushing through it. I had wonderful people in my corner, my family. I have 2 sisters, my brother-in-law, my parents, Dave, of course. And then everyone else on the team was like, Sophia, you're a genius. You can do this. I promise it's not that bad. So I just kept going. I thought 8 times, what's another one?
That's great. And it's great for the industry too, because there are ups and downs in real estate. And so having that perseverance and the willingness to stick to it is super important to be successful in this industry.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Dave always describes it as like peaks and lows, or he'd like, highs and lows in the industry. 2008 happened and he bounced back. 2008 happened in a way for my family directly as well. So I kind of saw it in a different view and saw it from his point of view. And I thought the fact that he was able to overcome all that and my family was able to overcome all that, I think it's a telling tale that, you could just, it's all mind over matter,
Sophia, here you are. Now you have your real estate license, which is pretty exciting, especially after trying to get past that exam. What did you expect your first year?
I had no idea what to expect. A lot of people kept telling me like, oh, don't worry about your first few years, like it's not going to be telling of your whole career. If you don't end up having a transaction, like, don't let that discourage you. And I thought, not even one, like, I'm going to try to get one, I better get one. But I had no idea what to expect. And everyone told me like, nothing that you learned on the course will really apply necessarily. Nothing on the exam will necessarily apply to if someone needs, help with a flood in their basement at the day of closing, So I had no idea really what to expect. And I just kind of hit the ground running and thought, whatever it throws at me, I'm going to find a way to fight it out, kind of.
So how long after you actually got licensed did you get to your first closing table?
Yeah, so my first transaction closed, I got licensed in February and my first transaction closed in August. So pretty quick turnaround, I'd say. I just thought of every possible place I could post I was an agent. I could share that I was an agent. And actually my local community, like my subdivision Facebook group, I posted a little, hey, I'm Sophia. I just got my real estate license. If anyone needs a, updated market analysis, let me know. And somebody, like, seriously, it was like, I thought, oh my God, somebody just messaged me. They messaged me and said, hey, we're moving to Florida and we'd love for you to help us potentially sell our home. I said, I can be there right now. What do you guys have going on? And we met, and that deal, ended up, it was supposed to close in July. Title issues came up. So it was very, very, I learned a lot on my first deal, especially being a listing versus a buy. It's a completely different, deck of cards, essentially. So I was super excited, overwhelmed, scared, didn't want to screw it up. But again, I had a lot of people in my corner helping me, saying like, this is how you do this, and this is who you call for this, and, follow up on that. So about a few months there, and I was just over the moon that I had, one under my belt, and then more came along after that.
So of those experiences in your first year or early in your career, anything else that stands out to you that was maybe a funny experience or a memorable experience that you learned from, or is just fun to have in your memory?
Yeah, absolutely. Dave is really big on open housing. He started probably doing a lot of open houses, just like people did door-to-door knocking or phone calls and whatnot. He's huge on open housing. He can trail back one client who's led to, say, 10 transactions over his career, if not more, from one open house. And so hearing him say that, I thought, oh my God, I better get my butt to an open house. Saturday, Sunday, 12 to 4, I'm booked, So one open house in particular, a very nice father and daughter walked in, and he was very, in his probably late 80s, elderly man, but very, very kind. And he told me, if you can give me this house for $260,000, you'll sell my house. And I said, okay, challenge accepted. His daughter was just so excited to meet me as well. She was like, you're so nice, and I worked hard. It was a colleague's listing. So I thought, these are wonderful buyers. They're cash. It was kind of like a gift from God almost. I have cash buyers ready to close 2 weeks, and then I could sell another house. So I think about that experience a lot. And end up, his daughter passed away last year. So I check on him regularly and just check how he's doing and whatnot. So that sticks out as my first buy and sell. But from an open house, it trails back to Dave hounding us on open housing, but it works. People come in and are ready and eager and green and have the funds potentially. Why not, take advantage of those opportunities?
That's a great story. I know you mentioned Dave a few times because he's your lead. Do you have another mentor that works with you, or is Dave your mentor?
Dave is he's my real estate Jedi. Like, he is my Yoda. I go to him for any questions. He's I think 27 years in the business, and he's my lead mentor right now. I just really he has anything I need, and he just is. I've known him for 12 years now. As soon as I moved to Indiana, I rode the bus and I met his daughter, and she's like, "Do you want to come over and listen to music and have food?" I said, "Yeah, let's do it." So I met him and his wife and Morgan's brother, that's his daughter. And we clicked very well. My family is now friends with, them, and my sisters know everyone. And it was just a great friendship and relationship. So he's like a very nice light in this journey of mine. But we also have different team members. Colleen is also wonderful. She's my real estate mom, and Dave's my real estate dad. Colleen's been in the business about 7-8 years, and she has, a design background. So she's very, she can see things that most other people couldn't see, like, oh, move this for photos or do this to kind of add a little bit of spice to the room or whatever. And she also comes from a place a little bit more of kind of that motherly instinct that maybe necessarily Dave won't have, just of having empathy and helping people. And that's what comes first. So I kind of take that and then kind of take the business side from Dave and kind of I don't want to say the hunger, like a bad way, because he just, he has to do this to provide for his family. There's a ton of agents like that who this is their livelihood, single moms, and then dad's at work selling houses. So he kind of had that business, kind of not shark in a bad way, but that shark mentality of, get what you need to do and negotiate and help your client, put them first. And Colleen has that motherly side of, it's your baby, help your baby get through the door and open the door, So they're both really nice to have in my corner, and I rely on them a lot.
Yeah. That's great. And I think probably contributes significantly to your success. What were some of the biggest challenges that you faced in your first year?
Yeah, my first year was just, I think, finding clients. I'm 23 years old. A lot of people my age are, figuring out where to work, graduating college, or they're, I don't know, everyone's just kind of in a different position at my age. Everyone's kind of all over the place. So they're not necessarily in a position to buy houses. A lot of people my age, like I said, are still living at home, trying to get their feet on the ground or save money, things like that. So it was challenging for me to find my niche, sphere of who I can target regularly, how I can find clients. So that's why I really relied on open housing. And I was able to get that really nice father-daughter duo. My neighborhood, I thought, let me just keep posting on here. When somebody sees that I was successful in selling a neighbor's house, then they'll be like, oh, she actually knows what she's doing. Let's give her a call. So all of it kind of just lined up a lot better than I thought, because I was really nervous. Who's 23 years old buying a house? If you're doing that, you're a rock star, so that was my biggest challenge, I think.
Oh yeah, no, it sounds like it. And it sounds like you overcame it with the way you went after it.
Yeah, absolutely. Dave's kind of told me, he said, well, those parents have to move, maybe they have to downsize, maybe they're empty nesters. So then, that was another kind of chapter of okay, let's now see how we can get those people in my corner, or even just put myself in front of them for an opportunity. Because a lot of people know agents. I think one person now knows how many agents, probably 5 to 10. So just making myself stand out as, hey, I may be new, but I'm hungry. I'm ready to work for you. I'm motivated. I'm young and spry. I can get to where you need me to go. So I played it, that route as well, for sure.
Sophia, how'd you market yourself as a new agent? And were there particular channels or techniques that were most effective for you?
Yeah, I marketed myself. I actually partnered with a few different lenders. I did a video series with a Spanish-speaking lender because I do speak Spanish. And I thought, the Latino community is going to be a huge boost here in the coming years. So if I can just get a few people that speak Spanish that know that I'm bilingual and can help them, I think that will really work in my favor. So we did a few lending kind of Q&A style videos, and we posted those on Instagram, posted those on Facebook. That really helped just kind of bring in a new audience for me. I also was really big on telling everyone in the office, like, hey, I speak Spanish. And a few times people would get calls and said, oh, I don't speak Spanish, but my friend who's an agent speaks Spanish. And I'd get a lot of, connections from there. We'd have other Century 21 agents call our office and say, do you have anyone in there that speaks Spanish? And one time an agent said no. And then another agent said, yes, Sophia, don't hang up that phone. Let me go get her. So that's just like so heartwarming that I have people, looking out for me and thinking like, oh, Sophia, she's new, but she can do it and she can help them. And, she can help this, new community who sometimes it could feel really, I don't know, I could imagine it could feel lonely. You speak Spanish, you need this, you need a home, you need to sell your home to, make money and make ends meet. So being that person for someone, and I've been really grateful for the Latino community just kind of bringing me in and letting me help them,
Do you think that's what helped you achieve success so quickly?
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of people, I think it's a mix of the fact that I have more of a range of who I can help. And I think too, being young is, a lot of people see it as an advantage to me a little bit. I think a lot of people told me that anyway. They said, she's young and she's hungry. And that people who would sell me to their friends and family was like, she may be new, but she's young and she's motivated, and I thought, hey, that works for me because I am. And my parents kind of taught me, work hard, play hard mentality from a very young age. I've had 3 jobs at one point, 4 jobs. I just like the hustle. I like working. I like staying busy and, having 4 plates to spin at once. That's always been easy for me. So I think certainly that helped me, and I'm grateful for that. Super grateful for that. And it's still, I still get referrals. I had an agent call me last week and he's like, I got 2 more for you. And he's from Illinois because there's a lot of Illinois to Indiana people right now. So yeah, shout out to my Latino friends. Thank you very much for trusting me.
I bet you're getting a lot of referrals. So you're meeting people at open houses and through your work with the lenders and referrals. How'd you build the relationship with these new potential clients? Like, what was your style? What'd you do?
Yeah, I would always ask the clients, do you prefer me to call you, or would you prefer to text, or would you prefer to meet in person? That was kind of a trait that Dave taught me for sure. I mean, Dave is more like just pick up the phone and call them, but Colleen likes to text and other people like to meet in person. So everyone does it a little bit differently. So I think for me, giving the clients that option of, hey, I'm at your service. I want to do what's best for you and your time and your watch and your schedule. So is it easier for me to call you? Do you want to schedule to meet for coffee? Or would you like, a quick text on here's the first steps. Once we get these done, we're going to go to this. And everyone was all over the place. But I think once I got them on the phone, once I met with them face to face, once they kind of just heard from me, I quickly knew how easy it was to build trust with a person and just know, hey, I'm here for you. I'm not going to be super pesky. I'm not going to bug you all the time. I'm just here for you when you need me, and we'll get it done.
Oh, that sounds like it's worked well. And I think it's great advice for aspiring agents. Real estate's it's a service industry, right? And we put ourselves out there for the customers to help them. Aside from the father-daughter who bought that house, do you have any other interesting client interactions that stand out to you in your time in real estate?
Yeah, absolutely. There's actually for my few years I've been in this, I feel like a few more stories than the average person. But I had a gentleman, another Spanish-speaking client. He was a veteran, so he had VA, but he wanted a VA 203 rehab loan. So people who aren't familiar, these are loans that you get money to rehab the home kind of built into the loan and the mortgage. So we were looking at super distressed properties, and he was, dad of like 5 kids. He was always like traveling from here and there because he was all over the place in Illinois. So he would come from Indiana because he knew it was a better kind of deal. But yeah, he had so many, to the lender, the poor guy, he just had so many restrictions and so many guidelines. And we had to call countless contractors. We had to call countless roofers. And, I would have to go out there and meet them and open the door and call the agent, can we come here? And it was vacant, but there was a lady, an elderly lady in the first level, because it was actually a multi-unit, excuse me. So I had to call, hey, is she okay if we come at this time? Is it okay if we come here and there? We're going to check the windows and blah, blah, blah. But that deal, oh my gosh, it was, I think, 7 months total. Average transaction is about 30 to 45 days. So me here, excited for my 30-day close, I was like, this is not going to take that short of time. And I would just report back. He's like, how's it going with Alex? That was my client's name. I was like, whew, how much time do you have? So yeah, that one was super interesting. And now I can tell people, hey, I work on FHA rehab loans and VA rehab loans. And I kind of can to teach people about that process if they are at all interested, but can kind of tell people too, like, even if there are guidelines, like, we can overcome it. It's just a matter of following up and checking on things and calling the lender what else is needed. I had a similar one as well with a down payment assistance program, that there was just, restrictions upon restrictions and timelines and guidelines. So it's all really about follow-up with things like that, and making sure that all of the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, and getting everyone on the same page so that there's no miscommunication. That's like huge. But it was nice to learn that, so early in my career, so that I can tell people, hey, I can do this. I've done a commercial deal even. And even though it wasn't a major commercial deal, it's still commercial. If anyone do you have any commercial experience? I do. Actually helped this gentleman buy this church, or I helped this gentleman buy this, unimproved property that he's going to park his commercial trucks on. So I've been blessed with just a few different types of real estate transactions, which has certainly helped with the whole picture.
Oh, that's awesome. And I think, doing the VA work, I think you have to have special contractors who are willing to work on those kinds of deals. And so you start to build out your network, and then that becomes available to you in the future.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
awesome.
I had to help all the contractors. I'm like, here's who you call to get VA certified. He was like, okay. I was like, it'll be great. It'll be great.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Ooh, in 5 years, I'll be 28. Oh, I hope I'll be not necessarily taking a step back from real estate, but being at a place where I don't have to work, every weekend. Maybe I'll have a family at that time, or start my family. So I think if I work real hard these next 5 years, I can kind of maybe start my family, kind of get that chapter going a little bit. But yeah, I think it's maybe still in real estate. I really love social media, and I love the idea of working online and having an online community as well. So I don't know, I think I like change. I like switching it up. I never thought 5 years ago I'd be doing real estate, or I'd be on a podcast talking about real estate. So who knows what's in store, but I can certainly see myself kind of maybe slowing down a little bit work-wise to just be prepared for my next phase of, hopefully, God willing, motherhood and being a wife and having a family and things like that.
That's good. I mean, it's a great goal. Success now so that you can have the family later.
Goes back to work hard, play hard. My parents taught me that early, and I thought that's a weird way to say it, but yeah, I guess so.
As a father of 4, I can tell you it's not work. It's not play hard. I mean, it is, but it's also work hard when you have kids.
Work hard, and then you got to work harder.
Yeah, exactly. Do you have any tips or tricks that you would share with aspiring real estate agents on, how you were successful or how they might find success?
Yeah, I think definitely finding someone who you like the way they handle their business. Find someone who you just admire their traits and work-wise, how they handle business, how they follow up with clients, how they treat a client at closing. If you find someone that you can kind of have as a mentor, I think that is so huge. To anyone who's asked me, like, what do you recommend, joining a team or not? I always tell people, I think the idea of starting this new kind of crazy, completely different work, especially if you're coming from no background or no experience like I did, having a team or people that you can rely on, I think is just such an advantage to just know where to go, like, here, put your foot here and let's go try this out for a little bit. Or Colleen has new construction background, a ton of new construction background. So I go to her for all my new construction questions. And I'm sure if you're an independent agent in an office, you probably will make contacts with other agents, but just having a team, the sense of working together. You know, when there's already so much competition in the business, I think having that is certainly just a huge perk and a huge plus. So I always tell people it's worth exploring, you know, talk to somebody on a team, talk to recruiters on different brokerages, you know, just to see how you feel about it.
Oh, I love that. And I think people would find that very valuable. You've mentioned a couple times the office. So I'm assuming you guys go into the office.
Oh,
And
yes,
so you
every
see
day.
people in the office.
Yes, every day I'm here, usually like 9 to 3, 9 to 5. But we have a very nice community in the office. We just had, we hosted a retirement party for an agent who was 30, 40 years in the business. And she just was in tears because she was so grateful and just so happy that we were able to do that. And, you know, all the agents came together from different brokerages as well. So there's not only I have my little community of my team, but I have the larger community of our office, and then, you know, the corporate level, the brokerage as a whole. It's really nice to just have so many people to ask questions. I'm still new in the business, so I'm like, what do you think about this? What do you think about these law changes? How is it going for you? You know, what do you think about the new forms? But all that stuff it's nice to just have people to talk to about it. So I can't imagine being like, you know, completely online or just always on the go. I like coming together and meeting with people and having our office meetings and things like that. I'm always very vocal at those because I just think it's part of it, you know.
Sophia, great advice for someone coming into the industry without a doubt. And real estate, after all, is a people business, right? So bringing people together certainly is advantageous. So we're going to jump into our lightning round. I'm going to ask you a question, provide your immediate thoughts, 60 seconds or less. And let's start with, I know you like podcasts. What is a podcast that you'd recommend for the audience?
Ooh, that's a good question. I really like Mel Robbins. She's an amazing podcast host. She just kind of gets my mindset right where it needs to be. You know, she gives the other advice I heard from her the other day was, as soon as you wake up, don't pick up your phone. Don't let the outside world take control over you right away. You know, have a moment to yourself, take a breath, get prepared for what you have, you know, ahead, just all mentally, you know, ground yourself, kind of take a moment. And I thought, oof, I need to do that because I'm immediately emails, texts, like who do I have to check first? Maybe check TikTok for a second while I still can. But yeah, I think Mel Robbins I really like. And I also love pop culture and things like that. The Toast is one of my favorites. It's a sister duo out of New York who they're just hilarious. And she's a comedian and she's kind of a little bit more reserved, but it's really, really funny. And they talk about all new things. So I love those two.
Well, keep them going. And I know you have many more than that. So thank you for sharing those recommendations. If we had a time machine and you could go back to the day you started this journey, what advice would you give yourself?
I would tell myself, worry about your journey. Don't think about anyone else's journey. I would tell myself, it's going to seem hard. You're going to want to sometimes throw your phone out the window, but just know you're helping people, and that comes above all. You know, you're helping people accomplish their dreams of home ownership. You're helping people, you know, cash that check at their when they sell the home to make ends meet, or, you know, fund their retirement so they can finally stop working. But just know that your journey is your own, and it's all about helping others.
Good advice, and certainly a good reminder to all of us. If you had time to have dinner with one person, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Ooh, what a good question. Probably. I feel like I could name a lot. I really like Hugh Jackman. I think he's just super, super interesting, and he has a long career. So just like, how have you managed to be in this career for so long? You know, and how do you manage to find the motivation to keep going? You know, I'm sure you could stop, you know, like, why do you still work? Like, what is it that keeps you going? I think that's a wonderful question to ask really anybody, somebody like that, or somebody like Oprah, like, what makes you keep going? You know, why do you keep going? So I think somebody like that, as a celebrity probably, because I like all that stuff. But Taylor Swift too. Oh my gosh, Taylor Swift. How could I forget her? Taylor Swift 100%. I take it back. Forget Hugh Jackman. Taylor Swift for sure. I would ask her as well, like, why do you keep going? You know, you're already a billionaire. What's making you get out of bed every morning, you know?
Well, Sophia, what keeps you going?
Good question. Certainly my family. I'm very, very close with my family. My dad actually is born in Mexico. He came to the United States from Mexico when he was about 3 or 4 years old. So he kind of didn't really have a choice. He came over and was like, I guess this is my life. And they sacrificed so much for my sisters and I. So certainly them, my sisters as well. I'm very, very close with them. I'm the middle child. My older sister's 27. She's having her first baby in April. So I'm going to be an auntie. And then my little sister, she's 15. They just are like my rocks, they keep me going. And everything I do, it's like to help my family or to just give back to them in a way. If I could do that for them, then I know I did something right.
Well, congratulations on being an aunt
Thank
soon.
you.
That's wonderful. What'd you do at work yesterday?
Oh, at work yesterday, we went to take photos and videos and get some content for a new listing. We're going to have a commercial listing, a restaurant, bar, and grill, local in Northwest Indiana that we have listed coming up. So we spend a lot of time there and prepared for 2 closings that are today. So kind of checked up on everyone, called here, called there, called everywhere. So it was a busy day, but I got home at a good time. So it was a good, productive day.
Well, congratulations and good luck with those closings today.
Thank you.
If listeners would like to connect with you or follow your journey, where can they do so?
Yeah, absolutely. They can follow me on Instagram at soldwithsoph, S-O-F. I post a lot on there, but not too much where it's going to flood your timeline. Don't worry. But you could contact me there anytime. Facebook, I'm very active on Facebook, Sold with Soph as well, or Sophia Espinoza. And hopefully there'll be more to come, but you'll get all, first news on those platforms for sure. But yeah, those are my 2 go-tos. TikTok, I'm still waiting for a viral video and then I can plug it. Until then, we'll plug Instagram and Facebook.
Nice. Well, thank you, Sophia. I think this has been a wonderful story, a wonderful time for us. And, your advice for up-and-coming agents, I think is going to be really beneficial to them. So we really appreciate you today joining us and sharing your journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys so much for having me. I was excited and nervous, but felt good about everything I said and excited for others to hear and hopefully grab a little nugget or 2.
Thanks for tuning in to Unlocking Real Estate, My First Commission. We hope today's stories and insights inspired you to take that next step in your real estate journey. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode, or head over to our channel to see some of the other content we've produced. We'd also love to hear from you. Drop a comment below with your biggest takeaway or a question for our next guest. If you have a recommendation for someone we should interview, please send a note to UnlockingRealEstate at ColibriRealEstate.com.